Welcome to Time with Tea. Thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. There are 5 things that I will always talk about, and that is literature, gender-based violence, performing arts, agenda, and myself. And today I'm talking about literature, and I'm talking about literature because I am fresh from a conversation with Oupa Segalwe. I've decided to sit here and have this conversation while it's still so fresh in my head, because I don't want my feelings diluted. I don't want my thoughts diluted. I don't want to have a change of heart. So by the time I post this online, it would have been a few days since recording this video, and I hope I can still keep my nerve of posting it as raw as I'm recording it. So I never like to talk about books when I haven't had conversations with authors, especially for books that I would have conversations with authors for. And Lucas Mangope, A Life by Oupa Segalwe is the best work that I've read thus far. And now I'm talking about the writing style. This is Oupa Segalwe's first book out, and it is the stuff that movies are made out of. It is the stuff that musicals are made out of. It is the stuff that music is written out of, poems is written out of, because he is an excellent storyteller. He's an excellent writer. He is an exceptional narrator. And maybe let me separate the two. Let's put the content aside. Let's say he's not talking about Khosi Lucas Mangope. He just his writing style and the journey of how he tells a story from beginning to end is exceptional. I have not read something like this in a very long time. He took his time telling the story, and he did say during our conversation that it's a labor of love that took him 10 years in the making. Actually, I called it a labor of love. He spent 10 years writing the story, and I understand. It is a decade of excellence between pages. It is a decade of excellence from cover to cover. Now let's add in the subject of the story. Re Lucas Mangope is somebody who is, you either love him or you don't love him, or you are in between, pretty much. You are only in between because you just don't know the full story. Now I have always loved Re Lucas Mangope because he was loved in my family. And I remember growing up, and when it came to politics, my father would speak about Re Lucas Mangope, but affectionately. Even in his tyrant ways, he found that attractive, and he found that endearing. I guess they shared the same qualities in some way. I don't know if it's a Swana thing or if it's a man thing. I don't know. But I only know Re Lucas is a man that we love and adore, and a man who has done big things for us, especially Botswana. And there are people who also grew up knowing to fear Re Lucas Mangope, or to not like him, or to be like, because of he had his other ways, that there was a side to him. And even Oupa says he was a man of many faces and many sides. He had a soft side, he had a hard side, he had a kind side, he had a mean side, he had a weak side, and he had a strong side, and all of those sides put together made the making of this man. But I like all of the sides, even the hard sides, and those hard sides are put in this book. And reading through them, also I really got to know the things that I didn't know about Re Lucas Mangope. I got to know the things that I wouldn't have liked about him, but because I already liked him. For me, I've always been a gone girl when it came to Re Lucas Mangope. People still call him President Mangope, Khosi Mangope, Manyane Mangope. It's for me, he was a wholesome man. He was such a wholesome man who lived as a leader, and who lived as a family man, who served as a leader and who served as a family man, who also served as a representative of his people, but who also wanted his people to earn whatever it is that they got out of life. He wanted people to work. He wanted people to pay tax. He wanted a structure. He wanted independence. He wanted to rule his people the way that he like. I think we're all familiar with that. And for me, it I don't know. Even after everything I know about him, I still love him. And I said this to Oupa. He wrote this book so beautifully. As much as we all know that Mangope is late, Oupa kept him alive in his story. He kept him in existence. When you read this book, you read him in the present tense until the very last days when he dies. And I don't think I ever knew what really happened to him. I think I've always thought that he got ill, or I don't think, prior to reading this book, I never really knew what happened to Re Lucas Mangope, like how he met his demise. We just knew that he passed away and that was it. And to now know that it's not like as much as he had ailments, he didn't die because of his sicknesses. He died because of old age. He was old and his body couldn't hold him up anymore, and his organs just could not function as well anymore, so they gave in, and he caved, and it was the end of a life that was lived. This man lived, and this man loved. He loved women. He loved his wife. And when his first wife Melia, when his first wife passed away, he was devastated. He was besides himself. He wanted to quit life. He wanted to check out. He wanted to stop everything that he was doing with his life. He wanted to be done. In fact, he was done. He was in hibernation. It was just over for him until he then, I don't know, something sparked life in him, and then he decided, you know what, let me just marry another one and do this life with another one. And he got married to somebody else. But even the way that he got married, he went around, he went on a tour to his family members who were scattered everywhere, just telling them about his intentions of bringing in another woman in the home and in his life. Because at some point after his wife died, he saw their bedroom as a prison cell. You know, he saw it as a prison cell, like he was held captive. It was not nice. He was not free. And yeah, and the way that he went about it speaks a lot about him being a traditional man, and also he was a traditional leader, so he kept traditional ways of doing things, and that for me is so special. As much as I want to walk around saying I'm a traditional girl, I love, of course I love tradition, but I don't practice all the traditional things that I'm supposed to practice, and I don't know all the traditional things that I'm meant to practice. Hey, ga ke itse le dithakazelo tsa me gore ga ke itse go tereta, ga ke kgone nka se tloe mo ka fitla ka re e ke tebogo ditinti e mokwena wa nkwe metsi. But I wish I knew, and I wish I was in touch with that side of my traditionalness of things. But I'm not. But yeah, it's something. It's neither here nor there. But I like I said, if there is a board somewhere where we should submit books for awards, for nominations of something, for submissions for some things, or excuse me, for whatever it is, I feel as though Oupa Segalwe is the man. That he's the man that he knows that. I don't think he knows he's that man, but he is. He's the man that he doesn't know he is. He is. Yeah, when it comes to storytelling, he is the, I don't know, man. I don't know, because according to me, Bongeziwe is the star of music. So Oupa Segalwe is the Bongeziwe of literature. Okay, that example is a little out of pocket, but he is the greatest. He is the greatest. And for somebody to come out, and this is your first book, sir, and I said this to him, like, I'm already excited about your next book. No pressure, but for your first to be this one, and to go into the amount of detail that you went into, the amount of research. Yo guys, even on the cover it says Lucas Mangope alive. People either hate him for being a vicious tyrant or venerate him and the good old days of Bob. Here we have an assessment of Mangope that is well researched, balanced and fair. Even the title is perfect. Lucas Mangope, a life well documented, a life well researched, a life well written, and a life story well narrated. I haven't come across this level of excellence in a while, and I'm saying this not to take anything away from the works that I read so far, whether for conversations with the author or otherwise. Oupa Segalwe is a magician with words. He is anointed with the pen. He is absolutely fantastic, and whenever I speak about a book and the author, I usually talk about the story. But this is a story about Lucas Mangope. There's really nothing much I can say except you have to go out and get it, because I would be spoiling it for you. But you get the book, find out how Lucas Mangope was as a young boy. Also find out about his parents, because Oupa also tells us about his parents, Lucas's parents. So find out about his parents, find out about how he was as a young boy, when he was in his young adult ages, when he started his journey into politics with that whole coup, when that coup happened, and how the demise of the party came about, when he won the elections, and when he won the elections, and when he lost the elections, when he was running the party independently, and when he lost the party, and when he lost everything and retired to a farm, and when he lost his wife, and when he remarried, when he got old, and eventually when he passed, and what it did to his people, and what it did to the politics at the time, and what it did to Mafikeng and Mabatu and Bob TV and all of that. It is a history handbook, and we have been reading about so many people and so many leaders from many different cultures. We've read about, the Zulus, the Xhosas, the Ndebeles, but even really came out and wrote something, a leader from Botswana. And this is it. And a guy Botswana, let's support this guy. Out of all the books that I read about so many different leaders, none is not one even comes close. And that makes me so proud to say that not even one. And there was a time, I don't want to mention any books, but there was a time when I thought there is no book that will ever come close to King Ziligasi when it comes to the research that went to it in the writing style. And I thought, listen, that was just PhD stuff until Oupa Segalwe came along. Oupa just knocked everybody out of the water. He knocked it out the park, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm so proud gore be ke le Motswana no yana, like ikhatla gore ke ikhatla ke ikhanta. I'm just so proud. So kantle le go ya lolo, I want to say to Oupa Segalwe, thank you for writing a book that reminds us of who we are. Thank you for her to have written a book that tells us where we come from and how we were led. Thank you for writing a book that I absolutely loved reading and that I will read over and over again, and I will forever talk about, and I will recommend it to anybody who will listen. Oupa Segalwe, thank you for your labor of love. Thank you for loving your culture so much. Thank you for loving your leaders so much. Thank you for loving our stories so much that you make us feel like you love us. Thank you for loving us by putting this work out. And in return, we love you right back. And not only will this be a perfect any time of the year gift, but gift somebody this for the festive season. My birthday is coming up. If I didn't have a copy, I would say gift me this book, but I already have a copy. Oupa Segalwe, congratulations. You are a genius, sir. And you have my utmost love and respect for eternity. Thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. It's been real on Time with T. Lucas Mangope, a life. Oupa Segalwe, go get it. Love and light. I'm on for now.